A storm is coming to the Highlands, and this time, it's not just a war of swords, but a war of destiny. As Blood of My Blood returns for its long-awaited Season 2, whispers echo through the glens, a child will be born who will change the course of time itself. Could this be the birth of Jamie Fraser, the man whose legacy spans centuries? Or is fate playing a crueler game, one that could destroy both love and lineage before history is ever written? The first episode of Blood of My Blood Season 2 doesn't waste a single heartbeat. The moment it begins, we are pulled straight into chaos. The 1715 Jacobite rising has erupted across Scotland. The banners are raised, men are called to arms, and the dream of a free Scotland burns brighter than ever. Yet, for Brian Fraser and Ellen Mackenzie, that fire threatens to consume everything they've just begun to build. In the Season 1 finale, we saw Brian and Ellen finally reunite after years of longing, betrayal, and danger. But just as their love found peace, war came knocking. Now, in Season 2 Episode 1, the sound of marching soldiers replaces the sound of wedding bells. Brian's decision to join the uprising is immediate, almost reckless, driven by loyalty, pride, and a desire to defend his clan's honor. But beneath his courage hides a terrible fear, leaving Ellen behind once more. Ellen, on the other hand, faces a challenge even greater than battle. Rumors spread that she might be carrying Brian's child, a secret that could alter everything. Imagine the weight of that truth, a woman bound to a fugitive, with war closing in and the Mackenzie name still cursing her for defying her family. If this child is truly Jamie, the same Jamie Fraser who would one day become the heart of Outlander, then Season 2 isn't just a continuation. It's the beginning of legend. But fate, as always in this universe, is never simple. Ellen's brothers, Dougal and Colm Mackenzie, remain divided. Dougal's heart burns for Scotland's freedom, but Colm's mind is ruled by caution and old grudges. The two brothers' disagreement could once again tear the family apart. And stuck in the middle is Murtagh Fitzgibbons, the loyal warrior whose heart belongs to Ellen's safety as much as Scotland's cause. In Season 2, he becomes the bridge between Brian and the Mackenzies, a man torn between clan loyalty and love's promise. While Brian prepares to ride into war, Ellen finds herself on the run once again. Her safety depends on those who choose to protect her, and with old alliances crumbling, she must rely on the few who truly believe in her. Every step she takes could determine the future, not just for her family, but for generations to come. And as she hides in the misty glens, clutching her secret close, the world beyond the Highlands grows darker. Meanwhile, the ghost of Malcolm Grant's death lingers like a curse. His uncle, Lord Grant, now seeks vengeance, and not just against Brian, but against every Fraser and Mackenzie connected to him. His soldiers are ruthless, and his hatred burns deep. While the Jacobite war rages on one front, another, quieter war of revenge begins in the shadows. Ellen's safety depends on secrecy, but her family name makes her a target everywhere she goes. Episode 1 also weaves in a powerful undercurrent, the pull of destiny. Small moments hint that something greater is unfolding. Ellen experiences vivid dreams of a red-haired child standing in the mist. Brian feels the same child's laughter echoing through his sleep on the battlefield. These are not coincidences. These are ripples through time, reminders that even before Jamie Fraser is born, his spirit has already begun shaping the world around him. As the first episode moves forward, the tone becomes heavier, charged with both hope and dread. We watch as Brian faces his first battle, not with the English, but with himself. Every time he looks at the horizon, he sees both freedom and death waiting. Every letter he writes to Ellen feels like it could be his last. And in her solitude, Ellen whispers his name like a prayer, holding on to the life growing inside her. But destiny never comes quietly. The episode closes with a chilling sign. Ellen's candle flickers out just as thunder shakes the sky. The war outside grows louder. Somewhere beyond the moors, a child's cry echoes faintly, or perhaps it's just the wind. Either way, the message is clear: the storm of love, blood, and time has only just begun. The Jacobite flames rise higher, and in Season 2 Episode 1, the story deepens into a tangle of choices that will shape generations. As the men of the Highlands prepare for battle, Ellen's quiet struggle becomes the heartbeat of the episode. Her love, her fear, and her secret form a thread that connects every soul in this unfolding tragedy. She knows Brian may never return, and yet, her belief in him never falters. That faith, fragile as it seems, becomes her only weapon in a world ruled by men, pride, and politics. Far away on the battlefield, Brian Fraser's courage is tested in every breath. The uprising has begun in full force, and the first clashes between the Jacobites and Loyalist troops shake the Highlands. The air is thick with smoke and betrayal. Brian fights with unshakable resolve, but his mind is never on victory, it's on Ellen. He promised her a life beyond war, a peaceful home where their love could grow like the heather on the hills. Yet now, surrounded by chaos, he fears he has doomed her instead. Murtagh stands beside him, loyal as ever. Between sword strikes and shouted orders, he becomes Brian's voice of reason. He warns Brian that destiny cannot be rushed, that love is not meant to be proven through death. But Brian's heart is restless. "If I fall," he says, "let Ellen know I fought for something worth dying for." These words echo later in the episode, tying his fate to the unborn child who may one day carry that same stubborn fire. Meanwhile, back at Castle Leoch, Dougal and Colum's feud deepens. The brothers' conflicting visions for Clan Mackenzie threaten to tear the very foundations of the family apart. Dougal, always led by passion, demands that the clan stand beside the Jacobites. Colum, frail but sharp, sees only ruin in rebellion. Their arguments fill the castle halls with thunder, the same kind of thunder that Ellen hears outside her window as she prays for Brian's safety. In a rare moment of reflection, Colum admits to himself that his anger toward Ellen may have been misplaced. Though he cannot forgive her betrayal, he begins to see that her love for Brian mirrors something deeper, something that once existed between their parents. This subtle change hints that reconciliation might still be possible, but as fans of Outlander know, fate rarely offers peace before pain. As the story unfolds, Ellen receives word from Murtagh. A small group of soldiers was ambushed, and Brian may have been among them. Her world collapses. Every heartbeat feels like a countdown, every gust of wind carries his name. The tension builds unbearably, not through action, but through silence. The stillness before truth hits harder than any battle scene. And then, just as Ellen's grief consumes her, a messenger arrives. The news isn't of Brian's death, it's of his heroism. Against all odds, he survived the ambush and saved a dozen men, becoming a quiet legend among the Highland ranks. But he is wounded and cannot return home yet. This single moment becomes the emotional turning point of the episode. Ellen's relief floods through the screen, but the danger isn't over. As she clutches Brian's letter to her chest, the camera lingers on her hands, trembling over the parchment, and the faintest sound of a baby's heartbeat echoes in the background. This moment is where the magic of Blood of My Blood truly resurfaces, that delicate balance between history and destiny, between love and time. Ellen's pregnancy is no longer a theory, it's a promise. The audience feels it, that this child, hidden within her, carries something extraordinary. Perhaps the strength of both parents. Perhaps the courage that will one day define a man named Jamie Fraser. But the universe never gives without taking. Just as Ellen begins to find a glimmer of hope, shadows move against her. Lord Grant's men draw nearer. Word spreads that Ellen is alone and vulnerable, and revenge drives them through the night like wolves chasing prey. The tension builds to its peak when Ellen is forced to flee once again, guided by Murtagh, who appears just in time to protect her. Their escape through the misty woods is filled with heart-pounding uncertainty. Every branch that cracks sounds like danger, every shadow could be death. And then, the sign. As dawn breaks, Ellen stumbles, clutching her stomach. The pain is sudden, sharp, and undeniable. Murtagh looks at her, eyes wide with fear. "It's too soon," she whispers, voice trembling. But time, as always in Outlander's world, does not wait for anyone. The world around them holds its breath. Could this be the moment? Could destiny truly arrive in the middle of war and ruin? Before the episode ends, one final twist leaves viewers stunned. Dougal receives a mysterious letter written by Brian before he left for battle, a letter meant for Ellen, but intercepted. In it, Brian writes, "If I do not return, tell our son that he was born of love, not of war." The word son rings in Dougal's mind like a curse and a prophecy. He doesn't know if Ellen has already given birth, but we do. The screen fades to black as the faint cry of a newborn echoes through the highlands, blending with the distant thunder of war. The audience is left questioning, was that the birth of Jamie Fraser, or the birth of something even more mysterious? The cry that breaks the dawn is more than a sound, it's a signal. Somewhere in the misty highlands, amidst smoke, rain, and sorrow, destiny takes its first breath. Blood of My Blood Season 2, Episode 1 doesn't give us peace after the storm, it gives us a miracle born in its center. Ellen, trembling and pale, lies in a small, hidden cottage, Murtagh beside her, fear and awe in his eyes. The world outside is chaos, soldiers march, vengeance hunts, and war burns across Scotland. But inside that cottage, time stops. As the light of morning spills through the cracks in the roof, a child is placed in Ellen's arms. Red-haired. Fierce-eyed. Crying as though he already knows the world he's been born into is both beautiful and cruel. Ellen whispers a name, one the audience barely hears, but it's enough. Every Outlander fan feels the weight of it. Could it be Jamie? Could this truly be the moment the Frasers' greatest legacy begins? Yet Blood of My Blood has never been about giving easy answers. The writers play with mystery and emotion like fire, keeping us guessing even when we think we know the truth. Ellen's voice shakes as she tells Murtagh, he's too early. The stars weren't ready. Her words send a chill, almost as if she senses that this birth has disrupted something greater, something tied to time itself. In the distance, thunder rolls again, echoing like a heartbeat from the future. While Ellen fights to keep her newborn safe, the world outside tightens its grip. Lord Grant's men are closing in, furious and relentless. Murtagh knows they can't stay. He hides Ellen and the baby, swearing to draw the soldiers away even if it costs his life. Ellen pleads with him not to leave, but Murtagh's loyalty runs deeper than blood. If this child lives, he says, Scotland's story will live too. His words carry a strange sense of prophecy, one that fans of Outlander recognize as the very essence of the Fraser destiny. As Murtagh rides out into the storm, Ellen hides in silence, her child pressed close to her chest. Every sound outside feels like the end. And then, footsteps. Rough, hurried. Ellen's breath catches. The door bursts open, but it isn't the enemy. It's Dougal. His arrival changes everything. At first, Ellen fears he's come to drag her back to the clan in shame. But his expression is unreadable, a storm of guilt, anger, and something softer. He has Brian's intercepted letter in his hand. Without a word, he kneels beside Ellen and sees the child. The red hair, the eyes, the unmistakable fire of a Fraser. For the first time in the series, Dougal is silent. He knows exactly whose son this is, and what that means. In a quiet, haunting moment, he places the letter beside Ellen and says, then he lives. And through him, so will Brian. It's not forgiveness, not yet. But it's the closest Ellen has ever come to peace with her brother. The two exchange a single look, heavy with years of pain and love, before Dougal rises to leave. He promises to protect her secret from Colum and the others, at least until the war ends. But just as hope flickers, fate strikes again. Outside, Murtagh's battle cries echo through the valley, followed by gunfire. Dougal rushes out, Ellen tries to follow, but she's too weak. The episode moves with heart-pounding tension, a mix of fear and inevitability. We see shadows move through the fog, we hear steel clash, and then, silence. When Dougal returns, his sword is bloodied, his eyes hollow. He bought you time, he whispers. Ellen knows what that means. Murtagh's sacrifice seals the episode in grief. Her tears fall on the child's tiny hands, and for a moment, everything feels lost again. But then, something extraordinary happens. As lightning flashes through the window, the baby suddenly grows quiet. His gaze, steady and unblinking, meets Ellen's. There's something ancient in those eyes, something that doesn't belong to a newborn. Ellen touches his cheek, whispering, "You've been here before, haven't you?" And for a second, she swears she hears the faint echo of a woman's voice, Claire's voice, whispering across time, "Protect him." That single supernatural moment ties Blood of My Blood directly to Outlander, confirming that the story isn't just history, it's destiny looping